Hi, guys. Hello and welcome. This is Guidance from Beyond on Spirit Realm Network, and I am your host, Dr. Michelle Walker. And it is wonderful that you guys are here tonight. We're going to be giving some free mini readings. Please go on to the Spirit Realm Network.net and you can go right on there. You can sign up, become a member, get notifications when we're going live. And that's a great place to put in the chat if you'd like a reading. So I'm going to bounce back and forth between them, but come on in, guys. I am looking forward to giving some readings tonight. So, Spirit really has been um, talking a lot recently about how we're managing our own energies and what we're doing. So it's really important that we are doing that good self-care, We tend to take care of everybody else and not take care of ourselves, but spirit is reminding us the importance of grounding, meditation, and discernment. That is the big one that they have been discussing. And one of the best ways to utilize your discernment and to really begin to trust your relationship with spirit is by going into meditation, going within. Everything that we're seeking outside of ourselves, we should be trying to seek within ourselves and going straight to the divine beings, right straight to God, Jesus, whoever you're working with that is of the highest vibration. That is who we really want to receive the information from and really have that intimate relationship with them so that when we really want answers or we have things going on. Hello, Caitlin, welcome. When we have things going on like right now in the world, there's nonstop stuff that's occurring and it's going to continue. And so discernment is really like the key to help you navigate what's true. Remy's getting aggressive over there with his toy. Whether to figure out who's telling the truth, who's not, who's who, what is really occurring. So they've been telling us for years to hone our discernment and to really, get into meditation and work with the divine so that when these times are here, we can navigate life a lot easier because we already know our team and spirit. We already trust them. We're already have that intimate relationship as we talk to them all day, every day, and we work with them. That way, it's very clear who you're working with and their energy signatures, and that will help us in navigating all the crazy stuff that is going on in the world right now. And you're just wondering who's lying, who's telling the truth, what's what. So, yeah, so that's what they've really been talking a lot about. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that information since I haven't been doing my morning inspirations this week. Oh. So, Caitlin, my dear, would you like a free reading? So, we're trying to do mini readings tonight. So, hopefully, people will come in. And I want to make sure that we're streaming over on Spirit Realm Network. We had some glitches before, but hello, my dear. If you would like a reading, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that. We love these technologies. Yes, you would love one. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just talking to my moderator here to make sure that we're streaming over there and everything's kind of flowing. All right. So you would like a reading. Let me see what I can get for you, my dear. Okay. So Caitlin, when I tap in with you, so I got a little bit of a heaviness in my heart recently, and I feel like this may have to do with a couple things. One, I feel like it may have to do with a younger male, if that makes sense. So this could be a child for a younger male that's in your life, and maybe it's, yeah, I want to feel like it's almost like a son that I'm feeling this energy with. And um hi Tiffany honey, welcome. And I feel like, when you're a mom and your kids just are headstrong, determined, and they are just having their own experience, it's really hard as a mom or even an aunt, or grandma, to allow that to unfold when you can see um, issues. Um, you have two younger sons. So I feel like what they're talking about is one of them, um, maybe the older of the two, that I feel like there's just a heaviness in your heart around providing care as a mom, but it's more than just like the basic care. It's more about really understanding this particular son and like his path, his journey, and just allowing. And I almost feel like you you could look at this son and be like, man, where did you get that? Like, I feel like he might even be like an older soul, right? They're smarter than their age, and you wonder why they choose what they choose, or like you find his thought process a little bit interesting, but at the same time you would do things differently, and there may be a mismatch a little bit there with that, if that makes sense. And then your younger son, I almost got like free spirit. Like he is just he is just going to do his thing his way, and that's that. And a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Um they're talking about, and maybe you've been thinking about changing some things, like maybe education. So I don't know if there's a consideration for homeschooling or something different. I feel like you feel like there's like a lack with the way that curriculums are. Does that make sense to you? It does make sense. You're currently struggling a bit with your younger son. Yeah. Yeah. With him, there's a really there's it's really cool with different cultures on how they raise children. And some cultures allow them to get hurt, and like we tend to be like, no, don't do that. The stove is hot, don't touch. And other cultures let them touch it and go, well, he'll learn. That was hot. Yes, about the education. So it kind of goes against your grain to allow him to get hurt, if you will. But he has a very strong internal guidance. So what spirit is asking is that you just give him a little bit of space and give him a little bit more room than you normally would feel comfortable with, and that'll be the balance that he needs. Because if you pull too tight, he's going to push back a lot harder, and it creates more issue. So you said yes about the education. So I do feel like maybe there was a recent conversation about schooling, and that maybe doing homeschooling or like doing something so that you're educating to what you think is important, not necessarily what the school district thinks is important, right? So you're getting a thumbs up and approval for either homeschooling or like a private schooling of some kind, where they really taper the education to the child and give a lot better exposure to things, if you will. Like in smaller private schools or homeschooling, you can teach them about money, finances, you can teach them home ec, you can teach them the things that they don't think and don't value in the school systems. And I feel like that would be really good for both kids to be able to have more expression. Okay, like more ability to explore the world and be outside. Yes, this resonates a lot. Awesome. So spirit is just confirming what you've already been thinking about and you've already been talking about, and they just are letting you know that sometimes when you go against the grain of what society is thinking is the norm is a problem, but right now it's not a problem. Everybody needs to be questioning, what are we teaching? Why are we doing that? And is this the healthiest for your child? And you may find more and more that maybe it's not. And so trust your instincts on this. You do know, and you are already questioning those things. Hi, Kelly, sweetheart. Good to see you, my dear. So trust that for yourself, Caitlin. And I feel like you're going to be happier. The boys will be happier as well. And I feel like they'll thrive more because there's just so much suppression and conformity, right? They just want everybody to sit down and don't do this and don't do that. Where, think about when you were a child, or like when I was a child, we had all that stuff. You had to be outside every day, and you better go to the bathroom before you go outside because they're not letting you back in. Like, you don't come back in. You have to have your outside time, playtime, and now they wonder why they're all these kiddos are being diagnosed with ADHD. They have more fast food kind of diets, and then they have no outlets for their energy. And we need those things. So spirit is just reminding you that you're getting that information for a reason, and that they're confirming it, and that it really is going to be more beneficial for everybody. Also, what they're doing after school at home, um, they're showing me like everybody needs a timeout. Including you. Everybody needs a timeout. Once they, to transition from school mode, they need to be outside, run around, then have some time out, and then do homework and get into dinner and whatever else you're doing. But there needs to be some time to just breathe and transition. And that's an emotional and mental and all of that. Okay. So I feel like that's something else you were thinking about, kind of changing routines, and they're in agreement with that as well. Okay. But I do feel like if you make these changes, I feel like it's going to be just a lot less pressure for you. And you'll see a little bit of a change with the kiddos. And I'm going to leave that with much love with you, my dear. Miss Kelly, how are you, my dear? Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Welcome. So I was trying to flip over here and see if I could find if anybody had comments on that site. I swear I'll work it out one of these days. Oh, you're so very welcome, my dear. You're very, very welcome. Kelly, 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 can I give you a message, my dear? Would you like a message? Here on the East Coast, it is very rainy tonight. So, and this weather is all over the place. We're so used to it. Hey, Kelly, my dear, I am getting this huge hug from grandma. I feel like grandma is around. And I don't know if it's an anniversary or like of passing or a birthday, or there's something significant with grandma around this time. And I'm also it's oh, she's coming forward talking about your older daughter. And she wants to tell you that she's very well, she's headstrong. She's headstrong, but you also have a beautiful way of understanding. um, you can have a really unique perspective. So not just like, from being a young person starting out in life, and what all the headstrongness, the free spirit of it all, you understand that. Oh, her passing anniversary wasn't that long ago. Well, she's here and she wants you to know that you've done a wonderful job with your children. And I feel like she's saying that it's been on your mind a lot lately with your older daughter. And she said she'll come back around. It's just you are a dose of reality that she doesn't want. And I can understand that. A lot of times, um, you don't go to the person that's going to give it to you straight and to really tell you how it is. She's looking for people to tell her what she wants to hear. But that's not going to be forever. And trust and know she's safe, and she's learning some really hard lessons that she has to learn. But I do feel like grandma is letting you know she's keeping an eye on her, and she has a lot of learning and growing up to do, but she will be back around. So, um, just reach out. Just keep reaching out from time to time, sending a message, just letting her know that you still love her no matter what. And grandma says she'll be around. She's gonna keep an eye on her for you, she says. And I wouldn't be surprised if you hear that she's moving. So I don't know if she's moving how far away. I feel like it's still within the same state that you're in, but she is moving a little bit away. And this will be probably, she thinks it's going to be forever, but it's probably only going to be a few months. And then she'll be back closer to where you are. Um, but she's almost like in that defiance where, oh, she started to come back around. Oh, good, good. Just grandma goes, you have to be you, but keep it soft and keep it a little lighter. She's gonna have to learn this, and you can be there to pick up the pieces. But I feel like there's this little spark of rebellion that she's gonna be like, I'm gonna go here with this person, and you want so much to say, don't, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Where you just need to go, okay, do you have everything you need? Do you have your money and all that stuff figured out? And just, gentle guidance with her. And just let it be. And like I said, she's going to learn some really hard lessons, and she'll come back around. Yeah, be a little lighter. Hey, that's grandma's words for you. Yep, yep. Because it's almost like she's testing the water to see how far down the rabbit hole you're going to go with her. And she wants your opinion, but she doesn't. So I'm sure you can intuit that. But yep, yep. You just have to be soft and allow. And that's such a hard job. Grandma's so proud of you. You really, you really take a lot of crap. She says you take a lot of crap. Um, and you do it with grace, and your sense of humor gets you through a lot of it. But trust and know that what you're doing is, and maybe sometimes you don't feel valued, but you are, and you are vital to your family. So grandma does not want you to think that you are not valued, because you really are. And then grandma is just saying about selling something of hers. Um, she's like, if you don't need it, you don't want it, sell it. Just sell it. It's okay. Like, don't hold on to anything because it was hers. Only if you really need it or going to use it. If not, then let it find a new home, she says. Okay. Grandma was saying that, I don't know if you're writing recently, but she was telling me, like, almost like you're a writer for a sitcom. Like, you could sit down and write the whole sitcom, and it would be phenomenal. So this may be maybe for your own giggles, you may do something like that. But she I know, Miss Kelly. I'm just gonna tell you, she thinks you need to be writing this stuff down, because it would be, like what is it, Chicken Soup for the Soul or something like that. That collection of books, yours would be like a collection of momisms and the funny things about being a mom and things like that. Like, you really could have a cool little ebook that people can totally relate to. Just what you want to hear, something else to do, right? But Graham sends a lot of love to you, and she wants you to know that she's watching, and um, she wants you just to know how special you really are, and she just really loves Love that about you. Your your loyalty and your humor were two things that she really valued in people, if that makes sense. And I'm going to leave that with much love, my dear. Grandma has a great sense of humor. I have a feeling you get it from her. She's a little sarcastic too, right? You were going back and forth on selling a piece of her furniture and you weren't entertaining it. Oh, and this whole life is a sitcom, right? I'm telling you, you could have a reality show. She's just loving that. She's like, if you don't keep it just because it's hers, if you really want to keep it, if not, then it will find it a new home that it needs. So don't worry about that for her. She knows that you love her and that you're sentimental and you want to hold on to that. And she's fine with whatever you decide. But if you decide it doesn't fit, it's not, but you guys don't want it, it's okay. She's okay with that. Okay. So I hope that brings you some peace with that, to make your decision, whatever you choose to do. Yep. So she really wanted to make that known for you. Okay, my dear. You do a lot for a lot of people. And so just do for you. Okay. Do what you want. Oh, you're so welcome. Much love, my dear. All right. I love when grandmas come through and especially when they just have like so much love and wisdom to impart. It's just a wonderful relationship you have with your grandma that comes through, and so it's such a blessing to be able to bring her forward for you. She was sweet. She really liked to cook though. When I feel like when she was younger, she really liked to cook, if that makes sense. Then she says she still cooked when she was older, but it was more of a hassle. Like, you just get tired of doing stuff, she says. But she always enjoyed it. But thank you, my dear. That's awesome. She was a great cook. Did she do a lot of soups? Because I'm seeing like soups and yeah, like that was the cornerstone. That was her domain. The kitchen was her domain. She was a great cook. That's awesome. And like you have her recipes though, right? Did you get all of her recipes? She's saying that you have her recipes. Oh, would you be like in the kitchen with her cooking? Like up on a little stepping stool or chair or something. Like I almost see like she's letting you see what she's doing. Oh, sweet. That is sweet. Grandma's awesome. Yeah, like I'm seeing like you as a younger girl. Hello, my dear. Yeah, so well, we're gonna let grandma go with that. What Southern cooking was her jam. You have some of her recipes, and you were the sampler. I love it. I love it. Yes, so that's special. So when she says, if you want to get rid of the dresser, get rid of the dresser, because you have her in your heart, and you can make her recipes anytime that you want to have that comfy food and think of her, right? Nice. Was it like a stew of some kind that was like one of her bigger, like she really liked that? I don't know, I'm getting like a beef stew or some kind of like soups. Yum, you have to share recipes. Southern cooking, can't beat that, right? Aw. All right, darling, I'm going to leave that with much love. So if anybody would like a reading, please go ahead and put a heart in, say hello, and we will give some more readings tonight. So for those of you just coming in, we were talking a little bit about spirit really wanting everybody to, thank you, my dear, really wanting people to work on their discernment and their intuition so that you can navigate all the craziness in the world right now and all the mixed messages that are coming forward, right? from our government, from all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be really important that we sit with whatever information is coming forward, and we really ask, is it legit, is it really, are they in their integrity, what they're saying, is it really true? You're going to have a lot of falseness out there too. So if you don't meditate regularly now, that may be something that you want to work on, so that you really know your team, you can ask questions, and you're very confident in what you're receiving. And that's one of the harder challenges, is sometimes you get information and you're like, okay, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but you need to do whatever they're saying, because within that is going to be the best route, but you might not always have all the details or everything. And I'll tell you, if you follow it and you trust it and you work that relationship, it will keep you out of all kinds of chaos and it will help you stay centered and grounded and balanced and supported, right? Like, we all want good support in spirit, and we have it. We just maybe don't build it and develop it, but we all have it. So they really want us to work on those things now more than ever. I've been talking about this for 10, 12 years. We got to do it. We got to do it. Well, time is upon us that if you're not doing it, you really need to develop it. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Would anybody like a mini reading tonight? Miss Tiffany, are you still here? Let's see if Miss Tiffany Toms is still in the house. So, guys, let me know in the chat if you are intuitive, if you get messages, and if you're working with spirit. So let's talk a little bit about that and see, while we see if anybody else wants any readings tonight. You'll take a message. All right. Jamad, my dear, you. Oh, I so this is great that we are talking about building our intuition, because man, oh man, have you put in the work. You have been, you cocooned inward for a while, my dear. It's so wonderful to see you. And I feel like you really went inside. You were like, you want to talk about the dark night of the soul and working through a lot of your stuff. Whew, you were in there for a while. But man, when you emerged, I feel like a different kind of energy that came forward for you. Like a deeper connection with yourself, a deeper connection with your purpose. And I feel like, are you teaching? Are you like, I feel like you're in front of people and you're talking about metaphysical things. So I don't know if that's teaching or you're giving message. You've totally been working on it. Yes, sir. You have, and it's awesome. Like, I feel like you're getting like lots of applause in spirit, because you're doing the work, and that's the hardest part to do. And I feel like, like everybody else, like, you get into it a little and then we all like, oh, that's a lot of stuff about yourself that you have to bring up and look at and deal with. And so you kind of been doing it, and then you kind of took a break and then back in it, and then you went really deep into it. And then you kind of like emerged again. So they're showing the path, and it's just beautiful, because you really are learning what you need to and letting go. Woo, like, you learned how to let go of some toxicity that was in your life before. Yes, all the time you've been doing a lot of performance, I call it. That's great. So I feel like you feel at home in that space, and teaching and talking and performing, or whatever you're doing with that. Um and I feel like you have so much fun doing it. And that's really important. Part of your purpose is to disseminate information and to teach and to do it however you, and you have a flair about you the way that you like to do it. And that's great. It's all great because it's serving part of what your purpose is and your passion. So good for you for figuring it out and working okay, working to get these venues and to book things. And you said, yes, you don't want to be crazy. You've been working hard not to be. It does make you kind of feel like that when you're going through it, but you're not. You're not. You're just discovering parts of yourself you really didn't realize that were there, or you got a new appreciation for a piece of yourself, or a situation. So the more we kind of go within and do that, man, it just frequency, the elevation of the vibration, and just the insights are really phenomenal. So as we were talking about the performance piece of it, Spirit has said that you can utilize AI. You need to look at some of these different AI um, sites, platforms, whatever you want to call them, that you could have them as employees and have them finding venues and booking venues and doing different things for you, um, to help you build your business and get out there even more. But AI is, there's a lot of tools. I feel like you can learn them very easily. So I know that there's like, I've seen different things about, you're trying to get the AI to work with you. Yes. There's a lot of different people that are teaching about multiple apps. Like there's like a 30-day challenge or something like this where you can sample all these other little AIs and learn it for, like, I saw one was like $20 for, like, as someone guides you through this 30-day challenge to learn a little bit about all these different AI platforms. And if you did something like that right away, it would click for you. You would have a whole lot of different ones to select from. And so it can inspire you in a lot of ways that you're not aware of right now. So maybe look for one of those challenges that are like free, or they're like $20 or something. And if you can utilize it, it's like hiring AI as employees, to do different things, marketing and whatever. But yeah, if you utilize AI in that way, you're going to actually like pick up business wise as well. And then, are you doing astrology readings? Like, why I'm seeing like maybe you're incorporating that in readings that you're doing. Hey, Kellen, welcome. Um, yeah, so I don't know if you're doing like astrological charts when you're um working, or exactly how you're doing that, but I feel like that's something that comes easy to you as well. Does that make sense? Yeah, like as soon as you put your mind to it and you set that and lock it in, it comes and flows very easily. The hardest part for you is to figure out what you want to do, lock it in, and then move forward, right? Okay, so it makes sense. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like this year, if you can stay focused in things, you've been giving these new astrology books. Okay. All right. Well, so check it out, because I feel like whoever, gave you those books, I feel like they were intuitively guided for that. So, yeah, that it'll click and make a whole lot of sense. Um, Yeah. And that might be something that you really learn at a deeper level, for like giving message and things like that. The crystal shop owner and felt the urge. Awesome. So that's spirit. They really were. So this is your confirmation that they really wanted you to incorporate that, because it's just the way your brain works. It's just going to make so much sense. And you'd be like, you're going to have these little aha moments. You'd be like, yep, that's what it's about. Because for years you do know about the different signs, but maybe it's time to take it to a deeper level. And there's a lot of different kind of tools, and things that you can utilize to go deeper within it. Yep. It's clicking. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And so I do feel like it's not going to take you long to like polish that up and actually be able to offer that as a service, like doing the natal charts and then interpreting things and maybe doing like compatibility charts and things like that. All of that I can see for you as potential income sources. So trust your guts. As long as you find it fun and enjoyable, I feel like, you trying to help people connect with themselves on different deeper levels is part of what you're here to do. So, if that's through astrology, sounds like it is. If spirit is giving you this information yet again, they want you to jump on that and see where it takes you next. Because it's like that little yellow brick road. They're gonna breadcrumb you to this, and then have you like there for a little while, and they will let the path be known. So keep following it, keep working on you, and meditate, meditate, meditate. That's one of the hardest things, right? Close that mind down and just breathe. Yes, it is exciting. It's always step by step. You got it. You got it. But yeah, I think just continuing to strengthen your connections, working on your intuition, working on all of those modalities, right? You want to work on your sight, and you want to work on your hearing, and you have a lot of knowingness. So I feel like that is um, something that is easy to do. You just have to make the time for it. But you're getting all of the rewards. And Spirit is so happy that you really are on that self discovery journey. And they just want to encourage you. You're reaping some of the rewards, but man, there's like a huge pot at the end of this rainbow for you. So keep going. Just keep going. It's coming. It's coming. And then they are talking about um, a new website. So if you have a website, maybe you're redoing the website, and maybe it's to add extra services. Um, but if you don't have a website, then I do feel like that may be something that you want to think about getting. It can be a very, very basic one. It doesn't have to be, crazy. But yeah, I feel like getting that out there, promoting, and having AI start promoting and doing those things is so going to help you so much. Oh, I'm excited for you. Busy year for you, and like I said, there's lots of opportunity. I feel like you need a new site. Yes, all yours expired. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Well, then revamp the whole thing. I feel like that gives a new energy to it, and it gets you inspired as well. But like October, November, I feel like you may be traveling a little bit more, and it could be related to work, but I feel like you're also gonna just take it as a vacation as well. So make sure you're doing that for yourself and taking the time to just let go. We don't always do that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I am going to leave that with you with much love, my dear. And yeah, let us know how things go. I feel like by the end of this year, you're going to be like so proud of the hurdles that you've overcome, right? We all have these crazy windy paths, right? But yours is all good because you're letting go. And oh, one more thing. They said there was a guy that I want to say maybe in and out of your life, or like every time you got away from them, then they tried to like reel you back in. Do you know who they're talking about here? I'm getting a thank goodness you finally kicked that person to the curb. You finally realized what you needed to learn. Is a very karmic relationship. Um, you're discussing this today. It was a very karmic relationship, and letting it go and realizing that it's already served its purpose. You learned what you needed to learn. And so the contract is complete. And so maybe you need to say those words out loud. Maybe you need to let those be known, but it really um wasn't easy, but don't cave. That's what I'm hearing. Don't cave if you feel like that urge to bring them back around, or you start thinking about them. Stop yourself and just say, I just send love. Just send them love and allow and just let them keep moving on. Okay? Because you feel um energetically, like if they're thinking about you, you're going to feel it. So that's where you just send them some love and say thank you, um but we need to keep it out there. Oh, you feel like that was a friend that I feel like was acting crazy and I'm totally moving away after so many years. Yep. Yep. But it's needed to. And everything is occurred for a reason. So the true lesson there, um I feel like you had to go through that to learn your lesson, right? Like, totally, they do that. Yeah, they think of you, and then I call. They may be in my dreams and such. Yep. So because you're such a strong empath, that you still, some people would say you still have a cord connected, or you're still connected. So you can do a releasing, just release that connection in love. So you may need to do um a little work around that so that you can let them go. So right now they're not in your life, but maybe they're still energetically, there's still some connection. So what you need to do is there's some different ways to do that. One is Ho'oponopono. You can do that whole process and release them in love. Um, you don't want to have any negativity there. You want to make sure that you're just letting them go on with their journey, acknowledging what you needed to learn and what you needed to experience. And then forgive yourself, forgive them, and allow it to go in our separate ways for the highest good of both, right? Because they need to move on and to the next thing on their path as well. So I know it's hard, and it's always especially when they I call it, they ping you, like they pull on that string, or they energetically show up. Then you just say, all is well. I'm well. I thank you, and I release you in love. There's no need to continue this. We've already completed the contract. It's time for us both to move on for our highest. And you just send that, right? At some point they'll ping. Yeah, exactly. So um but when they do it, you don't go down the rabbit hole of reminiscing and doing all of you don't need to do all of that. The contract's complete. So you just need to be polite and ask your team to assist that, because they will help assist them and breaking the connection and letting both of you move forward without it. You could do a cord cutting, if they call it, or just pulling it out. I sometimes visualize, just pulling out of my heart and just putting it, giving it to the divine, and just asking and seeing it, visualizing both of us, just handing it back to the divine and let it transmute into light. So there's lots of ways. Yep. The AI even told me to let them go. Oh my goodness. Well, there's a whole different confirmation. Yeah. Yep. But find peace with it. That's the trick. Okay. If you can find peace with it, then the contract really is complete and there's nothing left. So yeah, you need to get to that place of it. But I feel like you're there, or you're just about there. So yeah, don't take their ping on your energy as an invitation to move backwards or fall back into things. If that's happening, why are you letting it? Observe it. You're your own researcher, right? If you're like, man, but I'm getting emotionally triggered every time they ping me. Okay, so what's not resolved? And maybe you need to go into a session with your team. Maybe you need to go into an actual therapy session to work it out. Whatever you got to do to figure that out so you can let it go, right? You're great. It's like pretty done last year, but they got me going again a month or so ago. Yep. So this is what they're talking about. So So you got to look at that, and not in a way that you're beating yourself up, but in a way that you're I call it like being a researcher. So you take your heart and your emotions and you sit them over here, right? Because you don't want to get emotionally involved in this. You want to look at it and go, why? Why am I again? Like you said, they got me again. What did they get you with? Were you feeling guilty? What was the feelings? You don't have to say here, but that's what you need to figure out. Like, what is the emotional charge here? And then you need to sit with your team and say, how do you fix it? Right? Sorry. So that is the trick, is not to get pinged. And maybe I'm not going to get my voice back. That happened earlier too. Yep. Just a lot of memories. Well, memories are fine, but there's still an emotional charge, I think, that you have to look at. Yeah. Yep. And once you do that, it's like one more little tiny thing, and then you should be good. Okay. And I'm going to leave that with much love for you. Oh, those karmic relationships are fun, aren't they? Because they've been around a long time. And unfortunately, that's part of what we're here to do, right? Is to work through these things and heal it, and try to find that space where you're just at peace with it, right? We look at like it's so strong. Well, there's lots of relationships that we are all involved in that can be very powerful and very strong. And in our human eyes, is sometimes it's hard for us to see the bigger picture, or the bigger connection, or the bigger um, lesson of why we came together, and why we were trying to help each other see whatever we were trying to do, right? Yeah, it's fascinating to me. I find it fascinating that there's so much um, behind every relationship, and so the big thing is to find peace when relationships dissolve, and learn the lesson that they came together. So look for repeating patterns, you know, in that particular relationship, Jamad. You want to look at what was the pattern of behavior, and what caused you to be emotionally triggered during the friendship, during those times. Um, and if you can look at that, that can help you discern the lessons. And it's funny because we just got done talking about building our intuition and our discernment. And here's a great example, because we can use it in relationships to help us understand them differently, from a more spiritual perspective, or a higher frequency perspective, instead of our humanness. We're so limited for our understanding, but we don't realize we have all that knowledge in our Akashic records, and we can really start to access those things. Oh, you get mistaken for him, and yeah, he's not, he won't do the work. Well, and some people, maybe he's not meant to do the work, or maybe he got stuck and he's afraid to move forward. I know a lot of people that they don't want to do the work. They do not want, they kind of like get to a point, and then that's that. And it's really hard when you're a person that's constantly evolving and growing and learning and trying to you know work your spiritual journey, and people that just refuse to do that. You can still love them, but it's can be very challenging to be in a friendship or any kind of relationship with them. And sometimes it's not in your best interest to stay in those relationships. So you have to discern that for yourself. Well, you're like an emotional anchor of avoidance, right? Oh my. Yeah, you can't, we can only avoid ourselves and our work for so long, but it's always going to present itself, because that's um what we're here to do. And if you have these barriers, with these other relationships, karmic relationships, we need to heal those so we can, focus more on your purpose of why you're really here and try to understand that. Um, but yeah, it all has value and it's all wonderful. It's just if these relationships dissolve, you need to find your peace and heal you so that in other relationships you're not bringing all that baggage with you. You can let it go and move on and do it in a loving way. That's all that they're saying is just find peace with it, and all is right in the world. Well, enjoy your transformational year. And I feel like once you master this AI, you're going to have a lot more opportunities to perform and to be in front of people. So that's cool. I'm excited for you. And I'm going to leave that with much love, my dear. Kellen, my dear, is Kellen still in the house? I don't know. You feel you need a lot to let a lot of people go. Oh, but not me. No, don't let me go. You're so welcome, my dear. It's hard. I'll tell you what. Well, you know my story about, you know, when it was time and I sold my house and I sold everything and packed up and moved to a town where I knew one person and I was like, "You want me to do what?" I was like, this doesn't seem to make a whole lot of logical sense to sell practice, sell a house, and just up and go. And that's what I did, and it was the best move that I made for myself. But it was very difficult to understand everything around that. And you just take this leap of faith, but it always works. If you have to make those changes for yourself, you do. It's awesome. Kellen, my dear, I Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jamad. So Kellen, birthday, I saw flowers and balloons coming forward. So hopefully you had a nice birthday, or is your birthday coming up? It's right around here somewhere. And I feel like there is a there's a gentleman in spirit, and it almost feels like on dad's side, does dad do you have an uncle in spirit? He feels like uncle off of dad's side. It feels like uncle energy that's coming forward. I know there's such a delay here. But so this gentleman that's coming forward um is talking about your father, and he wants you to check in on him. He says, hi sweetheart, good to see you, Ames, my cuz. He's saying that check you need to check in on dad. Dad doesn't tell people everything that's going on, and I feel like dad he's had a lot of emotion come up. He may have had a little health challenge recently, not horrific, but I feel like he downplays things a little bit. And he's more stressed about life in general. Um, he's just more stressed about the details of life. I'm going to put it that way. Like we always worry about, I feel like they move. He's always worried about money. He just feels like he's worrying more. When I feel like the move was supposed to help him not worry as much, but for whatever reason, he's just really worried about him and his health and all of that. So this gentleman in spirit is just asking that you kind of like check in on dad, make sure that he knows um, that you're keeping an eye on him. And this gentleman, and maybe like I said, it could be uncle, but it feels like a really friend to your dad. Um, some rivalry, like sibling rivalry kind of energy, but truly loving like a friendship. And he just wants you to know that you surprised a lot of people, and he's so proud of you with the work that you're doing with school, and you're really putting a lot of energy into all of that, and they're very proud of you for that. And like I said, I feel like you surprised people. Maybe people underestimated you or didn't realize like what you were going to school for, but there's all these revelations like, oh my gosh, like he's really going to school for this long and he's getting his doctorate, and like they're just like, oh, look at him go. Like they're very shocked but proud, like other family members, like, does that make sense to you? I hope that makes sense. And I feel like, um, well, I feel like there's several things that are coming up for you, Kellen. I do feel like oh, that's funny. I do feel like travel. There's lots of travel going on, and then even after you get settled, like in the fall, I feel like there's still opportunity for travel before Christmas. So maybe take advantage of that. It's October, November. There is a trip. And I do feel like maybe this is a fun guy trip somewhere. Um, and you may be like, oh, but can I really go? I have so much going on. And Spirit is just saying, go. You never regret it when you go with this person. Um, Maybe you have to compromise and only go like for a long weekend versus like 1 or 2 weeks. But I feel like just even a short trip is going to be a lot of fun. And they're just saying that there's like this renew once you kind of get settled um in summertime, there's like this renewed excitement for you, which is so cool because you're like going to be starting a new air in a new area and a new position, and you have all this newness, but at the same time it's not super overwhelming like sometimes it can be. It gets you into that more fun, like this is really cool, and that renewedness of why you're doing what you're doing and the field that you chose. So you're going to have some pretty cool interesting cases that like continue to spark that interest and help fuel your energy, because you really, when you get excited and you get charged up about things, it becomes easier and more fun for you. And so I feel like that's what's going to be occurring. So that's exciting. So there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and there's the silver lining of a renewedness of excitement for what you're doing. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. So I'm going to leave that with much love for you. And exciting. You have an exciting rest of the year coming up for you, my dear. That's awesome. And Miss Amy, you get a hold of me, my dear, and I have a message privately for you if you would like it, and just reach out to me and we'll catch up. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I will see you back here next week, every Wednesday night at 10 to 11 p.m. Oh, you're so welcome, my dear. Much love, guys. We'll see you next week. Namaste.